big changes year over year with the Global Brand Simplicity Index, or is simplicity kind of a thing that's on a consistent trend now?
In large part, it's on a consistent trend in the sense that the brands that rank at the top of the index reappear year on year. Brands actually like Aldi, brands like Amazon, Netflix. You do see always a few surprises year on year of brands that move, but a lot of consistency typically.
Last year, 69% of consumers globally would recommend companies delivering a simpler experience. This year, it's 61%. Is that significant? And if so, what are you attributing it
Yes,
to?
I mean, it is significant. And what we've seen is actually that number's gone down in the last few years. What I attribute that to, I don't attribute that to people wanting less simplicity and wanting things to be more complex. I actually attribute that to the fact that I think people are getting more jaded or are getting more disbelieving at the actual potential for companies and brands to simplify. And I think it's actually more of a reflection of the general public starting to feel, if you will, disenfranchised with the complexity of their lives to a degree.
Of all the stats, which seems to be most persuasive as you speak to company leaders?
Well, the one that is, I think, been most persuasive is actually tracking the stock price of the brands at the top of the index. So I just have aggregated, if you will, the stock rating, the stock prices of the top brands each year, and then looked at how that in aggregate compares to how the indices do, and it always does better. And I think that
not just better, but fairly astoundingly better.
Correct.
And so, do you ever get any pushback like, nah, that can't?
Well, I mean, the reality is it is because it's having brands like Amazon and Google and Netflix in there, and they're brands that have been doing tremendously well from a stock standpoint. So it is the public brands in the index that are at the top are also actually companies that are doing tremendously well from a business in general standpoint, not just stock price. So it does correlate. I mean, it doesn't mean, I'm always careful to say simplicity is not creating a bigger stock price. This is a correlation, if you will, not a causation. But it's nice to see that the companies that are delivering what consumers consider to be the simplest experiences are reaping financial benefits also. So at least it's not the inverse where simplicity costs you money. It doesn't do anything for you.
Yes. What do you see as the biggest stumbling blocks to achieving this sort of functional simplicity that is going to boost your stock price so much?
I mean, unfortunately, I think that there are many. The first, back to this idea of purpose, if you haven't really defined a purpose for your brand and company, it's going to make things harder because you just don't have that basic strategy in place to align people to then deliver on it. The other piece is really determining which experiences, not just issues, if you will, what experiences you need to fix, touch points you need to fix, but really what are the ones that are going to have the greatest impact.